All right. All right. So this will be just a second behind, but hello and welcome to Bourbon Trail Explorer. It's been a while since we've done a podcast. Normally we do this in person. My lovely feet in the picture. Normally we do this in person, but obviously thanks to COVID-19, which I noticed a lot of people are switching to calling it COVID-19 because that's way scarier than coronavirus since people weren't taking it serious to begin with. So due to COVID-19, we are socially distancing while doing a podcast. We'll try and get other people on this, as we'll do this to try and keep our sanity too. I have switched locales away from my lovely bar, which is on the other side of this wall, because it picks up every noise in the house. With child and TV, that's not a good time. So I've switched this lovely locale with this lovely fake fireplace.
I'm actually more in love with the fireplace than your bar. I gotta say,
I'm kind of digging the fake fireplace, and I think once I get to drinking here in a minute, it'll be even better. We do have a lot of news to cover on this that we have not covered since December, and a lot of obviously coronavirus based stuff going on. Mark, talk about your stuff. What have you been up to lately? I know you've been killing it in the bourbon game. You've been picking up Midwinter Night's Drams. You've been picking up ECBPs. You've had the good life while traveling.
Very, very lucky. So I travel mostly to Oklahoma City, Salt Lake City, Dallas, Atlanta. And Dallas and Atlanta, not good spots to go hunt. Not anymore. I've had some luck there in the past, definitely in Florida. But I've actually been super lucky in Oklahoma City. Picked up 107 Weller, I guess, 2-3 weeks ago. I was able to get 2 bottles of it. And every time I go to Salt Lake now, I've had success. I got the A119. What else have I picked up over there? Obviously, I have the Drams. Lots of Dram for days. I think the closest thing that I've got to a fire in this room, though, Max, is sitting right next to me, which I'm very excited for. Actually picked up 2 bottles of this, right?
You did?
In Utah, I think is where I was. No, actually, I got these.
Indiana.
I got these here in Jefferson or New Albany, Indiana.
Yep. Grab me one. Wow. So this is what we're going to be drinking on the stream today. So we'll go ahead and talk about this for just a moment. This is Little Book Chapter 3. This is the 3rd edition of Little Book. I actually have all 3. So while we're going to be drinking this tonight, when this nightmare pandemic is over, we're going to do a blind tasting of all 3, 1, 2, 3 Little Book chapters as one of our comeback videos. We'll talk about the specs on this guy. It's a blend of 9, 11, and 12-year bourbons. It is 9-year-old Knob Creek, which all of these are at cast strength. 9-year-old Knob Creek at cast strength is a favorite of mine, always has been. They do great single barrels. 9-year-old Basil Hayden's. Like, Basil Hayden is your intro, 80 proof, very sippable, easy bourbon that you get new people hooked on. But this is Basil Hayden at barrel strength, which is more like Old Granddad, which is way better. It is also 11-year-old Bookers, which the standard Bookers is about 6.5 years to 7 years at best these days. So that's awesome. And 12-year Bakers, which they just put out the new Bakers, the new bottles. You got a bottle for Seth.
I did.
I've got a bottle.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
It's really good. The single barrels have revamped the line. It's way better than it was. This is the 12-year mixed in here. They have a 13-year special edition, but we're going to go ahead and crack these guys for the stream.
About to be super loud if I remember right.
Maybe. Nope. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. I got my mic next to me.
There we go. Any whiskey that comes in its own casket.
Right.
It's always a good thing.
Oh, it smells like horse glue. Not a great smell. All right. Let's pop the top on these.
So we'll let that one go. All right. What glass are you drinking out of this time, Max?
Ooh, that's a good question. I brought 3 with me because I've, really like these. Let me show the stream. I really like these New Riff tasting glasses that I've gotten on Barrel Picks because they're really heavy at the bottom. They're kind of great to nose out of. But for this one, I'm gonna go standard Glencairn. I mean, you can't beat the standard Glencairn. What about you? What are we gonna see on your end?
That little guy look familiar?
Oh, awesome. The Neat Glass. The Neat Glass is a great glass.
Yeah. My friend Mike at Oklahoma City, just picked up. I don't want to spoil alert if anybody's listening that he might have been talking about it. He got a gift set of these. You could buy them in 2 and 4 gift sets. They come in a super swanky box. It looked like an incredible gift. He was asking for recommendations, and I was like, he asked if I thought that'd be a good gift. I was like, that'd be an amazing gift.
That's awesome. They're great glasses. They keep the warmth away from your hand, away from the glass, which you kind of have to stem out of it. For you, it's better because right now I'm just getting a lot of alcohol because this is cast strength, which it is 122.6. So right off the bat, you're getting a lot of alcohol out of a Glencairn because it just funnels that right to your nose, which is why I never review on the first pour. And I generally review after letting it sit for 15 minutes. So I'll let that sit for just a minute. I will do a full review on this one for the site, which I've been banging out reviews. And I've been putting up articles. So if you're interested, bourbontrailexplorer.com has all of our content.
Cigar video.
Do what?
I saw that you'd posted my cigar video.
Yeah. Cigar video.
I had a comment from a guy, man. He was super cool.
That's awesome.
On the actual video. So
that's great. So yeah, we're going to do cigar videos too. I'm going to do a couple. I think you're going to do a couple now that we're in isolation.
I got my cigar patio pretty decked out now. It's all weather now. But when I did the review before, I was in this room. I hadn't solved the heat issues on my patio yet. But now that I've got that figured out, full ventilation issues figured out, it's incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to do some cigar videos, which we might do some live cigar videos as well.
Hey, make sure you get your feet in your pajama pants in the shot.
My Star Wars pajama pants? Judge me all you want. Let me put this back on here, actually. Well, I'm going to put this all back in here so I don't make a horrible mess out of it.
You give this guy a little try here.
A little bit of pop, and let me know how that tastes while I'm doing this nightmare. I just threw a little backdrop in on mine. Come on, there we go.
It's actually really good, man. I knew it was going to be good. It's got a few classics in there blended, but
it's supposed to be a really good blend of all of these delicious bourbons.
Flavorful for sure, super complex, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I need to replace my esophagus after Like, you know me, and I always go neat whenever I have the choice. If I'm with somebody that's doing a cube, I'm going to do a cube with them. I'm not that guy. But for personal preference, I usually go neat. But some of these, I've accidentally gotten myself where I'll take a nice chug and just say, well,
like this guy.
What do you got there?
139.4.
Yeah, I've got that one actually.
Yeah, that one's. If you chug that, you're gonna have a bad time. But that's great. That is a super classic bourbon profile. A little bit of cherry cola on it, a little bit of the bean funk, that nut funk that comes off of it. But man, that's good.
Oh, that's great.
So, obviously, coronavirus, the big news story that's been going on because, well, it has consumed everything. Everybody,
man.
Do what?
I got to tell you something.
What's that?
I wake up this morning super early because I always get up early, like you know that. Minding my own business. Sports are not on, right? That's not even a thing anymore. I literally sat here this morning and watched. It was on ESPN2, but it was actually 8 the Ocho, and it was electricians speed running, installing a sub panel, and a competition set up, like for real. I watched the whole thing. I was like, "This is what my life has come to." I just watched a bunch of electricians. I could barely turn the light switch on. I mean, I'm a little more handy than that, but still, it's like the absolute definition of this moment for me was like, yeah, get it, man. I'm like cheering for these dudes.
Oh my God.
It's hacksawing cables down and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, trips to the grocery store are super stressful, weirdly. Carrying hand sanitizer, wearing masks, wearing whatever gloves you possibly can. It's a weird thing. You're
not wearing the mask unless you actually have the virus, right?
Right. I mean, obviously, I don't have any because nobody has any, as far as I know. I've been trying to keep.
I am washing my hands a lot. I'm social distancing.
Yep, that's all we can do. I'm hitting the store infrequently, but still every once in a while when we need something, I'm trying to maintain and not hoard, but at least maintain supplies. Obviously, bourbon I'm good on. For a while, for like a month.
There.
which we'll get into that supply here in just a little bit. As far as entertainment, video games, watching movies, streaming stuff, although that stuff based on Europe, we're going to see some cut downs on quality on streaming if our bandwidth gets overloaded. Working from home, trying not to drive my poor wife crazy. She's trying not to drive me crazy, which is less difficult than.
I travel way too often, and I've really enjoyed this last couple of weeks hanging out with my family. Like, we're in isolation, and that's a sacrifice, and that part of it sucks. And at the end of the day, I'm ready to go bananas. But actually seeing my kids who are for spring break on the regular and getting to hang with the wife, like, it's really been awesome. It's been kind of like going back in time 5-10 years when we were just friends, hanging out at the house. that part's been kind of neat.
That part has been good. We've really taken advantage of the time that we've gotten to spend together. I mean, obviously, I have an 11-month-old, so it's a little bit different. We're just kind of watching him develop and doing everything we can to help that out right now. We don't have to teach school or any of that. You guys have it a little bit more difficult on that end, but still.
My sister's a teacher. Her mom was a teacher. We've got curriculum for life now. I'm teaching her the ways of the street. So,
of course. Yep.
Yeah, she should be in good shape. She'll be fine.
Yeah, so it's super weird. It sucks. Like the social isolation for me has been a struggle, but I mean we have not hung out with anybody. We haven't done any of that stuff. I know a lot of people are having people over to their houses, and we have just been trying to distance ourselves as much as possible. But it sucks because I would much rather hang out with somebody, smoke a cigar, smoke 2 cigars. Our cigar club was down to like 4 people this past week. I was not one of them.
I really debated on going out to Mike's house. I just couldn't do it, man. I can't preach social distancing and then go hang out.
Exactly.
I'm not in the age group. I get that. But there are people in the club that could be, and it's
Absolutely.
like, I'm not going to be. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to do. They, with a smaller group of 4 people, can get far enough apart, and they did. We saw the pictures. They did.
Yeah,
you get 5, 6, 8 people. You're taking up a city block at that point. If the neighborhood goes, there's just nowhere to go.
Yeah, so skipped out on that. That's a bummer. We've got a lot of events that are going to be missed, which I'm wearing my Derby Like a Local shirt because the Kentucky Derby has been pushed back to September 5th, which is obviously a huge event in Louisville and in Kentucky as a whole. It's huge for tourism. It's huge for bourbon. All the bottles that have come out for Woodford puts out a Derby bottle every year. This one's great. We got a bottle of that. But it has May the 2nd on it, and all the Derby glasses have May the 2nd on them. So I don't know if they'll reprint them. I don't know if they'll put out new bottles. I don't know if they'll put out new glasses.
Put a sticker over it. Done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, what about my Steamboat edition? I missed it last year. I didn't get
we missed it too. We could not find it last year, but I've been promised I will be able to get them this year. But that was before all this happened, and I'm assuming the Steamboat race isn't even happening. So, and Four Roses, as part of the news, these are 2 separate but interlinked things. Four Roses is shut down right now. They are not one of the distilleries producing hand sanitizer. They just made the decision to shut down. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
What do you mean? It's a factory. Like, you got to think of all the. I mean, I've been through enough of the tours to see. Kind of, they're going to be touching the same cardboard that's going down the line, touching the bottle that's going to go down the line. It's really hard. Even if you take people's temperature as they're coming in, first of all, it's going to slow things way down on the production line. But then, they could not be showing symptoms and still be contagious, and you just don't know. So it's not worth it. I mean, if you're not making hand sanitizer, I mean, there's enough bourbon out there that I don't know. Is it essential to you? Is bourbon an essential?
So that is a question that apparently our governor answered tonight by saying that liquor stores are in fact essential and will remain open despite closing everything else under the sun. So that's been weird. Watching, everybody loves our governor right now. He's been doing a pretty great job handling it.
That's the understatement of the year. I'm on the Indiana side, and we're the Kentucky governor. Like, he's legit. He seems sincere. He gets to the point. He's very clear. He does very regular updates. Cuts right through the nonsense. Here's the positive things to focus on. Here's some of the stuff that we need to work on. I like it.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job, but he did deem liquor stores to be essential, which I thought was interesting and fascinating. I mean, if you talk to somebody like Fred, who's a friend of the podcast, and talking to him, he talked about how, it sucks that there is alcoholism out there, but if you just cut off alcohol supplies to people who are in fact alcoholics, somewhere between 4 and 6% of them will just die. They'll detox and die.
I did not know.
So it's crazy. Like, I guess it is in fact essential. It's
Sure.
Essential to my nerves for this, which I'm trying not to drink before I normally would at night, which, have a dram or have a couple of old fashions on the weekend. But yeah, it's essential to my nerves, but I have plenty of supply. But yeah, the liquor stores were deemed to be essential, which I thought was fascinating. Some of them, so you may not know this because you're off the Facebooks, which is probably a smart choice right about now. They're doing these, you sign up and you distance yourself, you do appointments, and you pick up a package. You pay, you pick up a package at these package liquor stores and they're doing curbside delivery. They're doing delivery itself. And that, they relaxed the rules in Kentucky a little bit. But here's my question. I've got this in our show notes too. Should this not lead to the national ability to ship anywhere in the country, right? Kentucky's always been difficult. You can't ship alcohol into Kentucky. You can into Indiana. But shouldn't this obviously show the need for the ability to have alcohol delivered nationwide?
Need? I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those old archaic laws.
From a business perspective, right? Like
Sure.
Westport Whiskey and Wine could set up an online page, and they need to keep making money. They're a local liquor store.
Yeah.
They could sell nationwide. They could ship nationwide right now. It expands their customer base.
This is the same type of argument you would have with like the tax code that Amazon had to go through back in the day. Each state had its own thing going there for a while, and the internet doesn't care about your borders. Like it is nationwide. It's worldwide. It would be really hard. It's hard to police it. People are shipping anyway. When I lived on the Kentucky side, it was never a problem to get anything shipped in there.
I mean, it isn't, but yeah, I think
the business owners, if they wanted to ship liquor to someone in California, they should be able to do that. And I think it's just challenging when states put in their own rules. But ultimately, that's the argument, right? Is it up to the state? Probably,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it and that whole interstate trade law comes into play. Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, right about now, Jack Rose, which is the famous bar in DC, who has 2,700 vintage bottles on their shelves.
I never got to go. You've been telling me to go there.
It's incredible, or it was incredible. They're now liquidating all of their product in order to stay in business, because obviously bars are closed, which a lot of bars are doing that have package licenses right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I know Fred is trying to raise money for bartenders. I know that there's a lot of people suffering in the service industry. It's really tough. Right now, I'm super happy, obviously, to be, and super lucky to be in tech, where I can work from home. I mean, I still have to work. We're overwhelmed at this point right now on the IT side, just with a bunch of stuff coming through from our company. But yeah, it's nuts.
It's wild out there.
So we talked a little bit earlier, and I'm wearing the hat. We talked about distilleries making hand sanitizer. Rabbit Hole, our local distillery, who I give a lot of grief because I don't love their product, has switched over to making hand sanitizer, which I think is great. I think Huber's as well is now giving out free hand sanitizer from their distillery.
Are they actually making it?
They are, as of Saturday, I think, or Friday. Huber's is both a winery and distillery in Indiana, and I think their bourbon has finally kind of come of age. I'm seeing single barrel picks of it at cask strength, non-chill filtered, the stuff that we really like, at like 6 years, and it seems to have come of age. So I think they're starting to kill it, but obviously they are, they're not producing right now. So they switched over to making hand sanitizer. I just flipped the fan on because it's nightmare hot in here right now.
It's 7 degrees outside. Why is your hot? Because you're sitting by a fireplace.
I'm sitting by a fireplace. I got to keep it warm.
This is I turn on my AC because my fireplace that's right next to me got too hot. So.
This delicious 122 proof is also keeping me nice and warm. But I do think it's awesome that these distilleries have all switched over to making hand sanitizer, and they're producing it for local hospitals, for national hospitals, as much as they possibly can.
That's what it needs to do. It doesn't need to be hoarded by people. Wash your hands with soap and water.
Yep.
Like eventually the antibacterial hand soap's not going to do any good anyway. So
that is true.
Wash your hands with soap and water a lot.
Yeah, and socially distance yourself.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
Not a doctor, so I'm kind of just regurgitating a lot of things that I've heard, and I watch way too much news, like everybody else that's on here right now.
Yeah, I mean it's
watching a lot of news.
It's nonstop. We keep it on nonstop. It's probably not healthy. And again, like I said, you're lucky you're off Facebook right now because that's a place to be. It's like half people who don't believe this is a thing still, and half people who...
That's still a thing?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. There's still tons of people who deny that this is still a thing. They're still going through that denial. They're still throwing house parties. And I mean, even in my neighborhood, luckily, again, you're kind of distanced away from your neighbors for the most part, except for your direct neighbors. But I mean, there are house parties going on constantly in our neighborhood. There's kids, all getting together, playing pickup games of basketball. It's like,
let's be honest. Are you mad because they didn't invite you?
I am actually upset just because I didn't get invited. Yeah, no. So yes, Facebook is a mess. There are still people selling bourbon. There's the secondary market is still going strong somehow during this. I don't know who's meeting who to pick it
up. Didn't it get closed down again?
Yep. Facebook closes it down and 10 more pop up. It's like the damn it, the Greek whatever. Watch Hercules and you'll know what I'm talking about. The thing that gets its head cut off and then 4 more grow out. I don't know. Moving on. Another topic. Something not related to coronavirus. Let's talk a little bit. One good thing. We'll go with the good thing right now. Do what?
Let's talk positive stuff. I like that.
Positive stuff. Russell's Reserve 2003 was announced. It is their Russell's batch that was distilled in 2003. Obviously, it will be 16 years old. It is barrel proof, but the barrel proof on it, I want to say, I don't have the TTB label pulled up. It is 87 point something. I want to say it's 87.4 or something in there.
Okay. Really low.
It's really low. And what's interesting is if you go and you look back at a lot of the really beloved MGP single barrels that came out of like Smooth Ambler, that came out of OKI, the ones that were really beloved are the 80 something proof single barrels that were at cast strength. Weirdly, I mean, you're getting that smooth, low proof, no burn, but you're getting the full flavor of the bourbon. So I've not had one in a long time. I tried one a long time ago and I really liked it, but I was still a relative novice. I expect this to be delicious because I did try the Heaven Hill 27-year-old, and I want to say that was only 90 proof or somewhere in there at cast strength, and it was awesome. So I fully expect this to be an incredible release.
Wait, did you say something positive about Heaven Hill?
Yeah. Occasionally I say positive things about Heaven Hill. If they would stop doing bad things, I would say more positive things. Yeah, I hear their Elijah Craig rye that's come out is actually really good. It's not distributed in Kentucky. I haven't gotten a bottle yet. I'll give it a try when it comes out, and I will do a comparison with Rittenhouse and Old Forester because Old Forester rye is phenomenal and $18 and not $30. So this low proof Russell's batch, Eddie Russell and Jimmy Russell have both said that it reminds them of Dusty Turkey, like the old school, 80s, 70s, 80s wild turkey that people covet. And they have both said this tastes like that. So I'm super excited for this batch. I'm hoping I can get a bottle and then we'll do a podcast where we taste it.
I love it, man.
Let's go with some more positive news.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a little secret right now. Secret in that
not anymore.
They're trying to keep it not anymore. For our 4 listeners, this is super secret news. So in the early 90s, early mid 90s, Heaven Hill, once again, shipped a bunch of bourbon over to the UK, a bunch of 12-year-old-ish bourbon over to the UK, and because it wasn't selling here. I mean, just the bourbon was still in a drought in the mid '90s. They had a ton of it to spare. The UK thought bourbon was going to blow up there. They thought they were going to, bourbon's going to overtake Scotch. We're getting it on the market earlier. So they sent cask after cask after cask, and it just didn't. Bourbon didn't blow up over there. It wasn't this big thing. So starting at 12 years, which, we love this Elijah Craig barrel proof at 12 years. And it's pretty oaky at that point. But starting at 12 years, all of these barrels sat in the UK. They sat in, which is a very different climate, right? It's much like the lowest level of a rick house, but even cooler and more temperate, which is why Scotch ages so well for so long over there. So these barrels have been sitting over there and sitting over there and sitting over there and not sold. And it sounds like they're now trying to move, and these are all pre-fire, pre the big Heaven Hill fire in 1996, and now they're trying to move these barrels back to the U.S. So it sounds like a bunch of these are going to get re-imported, and they're going to get bottled. I know of at least one independent bottler that is talking about bottling it, but it's pricey. We're talking $375 a bottle.
I'm out.
24-year-old Heaven Hill. That's a tough sell. Heaven Hill 27 year that they put out themselves was at least $400.
Are they trying to make up for the shipping costs of shipping liquid across the ocean?
I don't know where the costs come into. I'm sure that's part of it. I'm sure that
they're bad. Like, yeah, our bad. We're gonna have to eat that one.
I don't know, but the question that I would want to try a sample of it, right? I can't spend $375 without trying at least something of it. But it's gotta have kind of more that Scotch taste to it. It's got to be a fascinating bourbon to try either way. And I hope I can get my hand on a sample. I'm gonna try. If nothing else, I'll take the hit and get murdered by my wife, and may have to purchase a bottle for the podcast. Just to say I have one. We'll see though. They haven't officially reclaimed the barrels yet. They're going over to when this all gets done, the independent bottler, they're going over. They're gonna try samples, and then they'll get it bottled and shipped back over. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think that's really cool. I think that it's fascinating that there's just a bunch of, and they said there's hundreds, if not thousands, of these casks just sitting everywhere in the UK. So I don't think that 370. I'm gonna drink out of my delicious barrel glass.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy. It's got your name on it.
It does. I think that 375 price will end up coming down. I think with all these barrels sitting over there, that a bunch of independent bottlers will purchase them up. They can't say it's Heaven Hill. That's what's fascinating. They can say it's Heaven Hill beforehand, but once they bottle and try and sell it, all they can say is that it was a Kentucky distillery that distilled it. Weird. But I think that we'll see a lot more of those coming in, and the price will go down.
All right. I'm behind it. I just don't want to pay for it myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, because I have a horrible, horrible problem. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about here? MGP fraud. We'll talk about this briefly. This is, MGP, huge. They've sold their product for years and years. They sold a lot of aged product. In 2015, they laid down a bunch of barrels, and they did these profit margins, and they said, we're going to sell all of this unaged liquid ahead of time to people because they know we're MGP and all of our stuff is moving. And they had these profits they claimed they hit. They were like, oh, we've sold all these. Well, that's what they told their shareholders. It turns out the market got pretty tepid for barrels that were going to be 4 or 5 years old for the price that they could get 12-year-old Barton for at cast strength. Like the 12-year-old Barton cast that we were seeing were costing the same as these 4-year-old MGP, and the price didn't make sense. So that's what people were doing. They were buying this 12-year-old Barton that hit the market rather than paying those prices. So they thought they had it sold, but they didn't. And it caused their, obviously, profit margin to go way down, and they're just being sued by shareholders, which it happens. Their CEO just recently stepped down because of this.
You need to put allegedly in there a whole lot because, like, we don't know what they did or didn't tell.
This is all alleged. This is part of a lawsuit. I'm not part of it. This is just news that we're reading from somewhere else. I like what MGP does. I still think that it's really cool. They've started doing their own single barrels where you go there and you can do barrel proof rye. You can do these rye blends at 94 proof, I think. They're doing George Remus label, which is barrel strength bourbon that you can do single barrel picks of. I still like what they're doing. They just don't have a lot of aged stock from what I understand. So they don't have the 12-year-old anymore. They don't have the 14-year-old. Most of that MGP is long gone.
Well, it was delicious, and we really appreciate it.
We killed a lot of those bottles.
We sure did.
And they are worth a lot of money now, which makes me go,
still pickle juice. They run for its money.
Yeah. Oh, my God. The dill. I remember the first time, this will bring me to my story. I remember the first time I tried an MGP rye. It was in your basement. You were like, look, man, this was, God, I don't even know. You had I don't even know if we had finished building the home theater in your basement yet. I don't think we had. I think the bar was done, but I don't think the home theater was done. You were like, I got this bottle. It's called Rendezvous Rye. It's from this company called High West. And it's delicious. And I tried it and I was like, what the hell is the note in here? Like, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. All back then, it drove me crazy. I was like, what is this? Is it oniony? It's something, like, I can't put my finger on it. Back then, those bottles of Rendezvous Rye were just killing it with high-aged MGP rye, and they were fantastic. And it was the dill note that I couldn't put my finger on. But I remember that. I
think officially makes them the Chick-fil-A of bourbon.
Kind of.
Who also dill brines.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But that's what's funny is the first MGP rye I ever had was in your basement. And it was phenomenal. Yeah.
It was a lot of whiskeys ago, so we've definitely done our part to keep MGP afloat.
We have.
Yeah.
This whole thing with COVID-19 and the liquor stores, hopefully our favorite liquor stores obviously survive. I'm a big fan of our locals, Westport Whiskey and Wine. I really like the Silver Dollar. They're doing theirs through the Pearl. I like Cox's and Evergreen. I think a lot of these shops have done really well for the community. They don't overprice, and I'm hoping that the good shops will survive, and I feel bad for the bad shops, but right now, why would you pay the overpriced prices at a place like the bad liquor worlds that we know of, and so on and so forth? So
here's something I want to just note on right there.
Sure.
You did not give up who I know to be your personal go-to liquor store. And even though you and I both know that there are maybe 3 people listening to us right now, neither one of us will give up our haunt. Like my spot, I'm not telling anybody, man. Because they always, I buy everything I get from there. Built a relationship, right? I buy my beer there. I buy my bourbon there. I buy my wine there. And they know me. I always ask, unless they're busy, and I don't even ask. Just say, like, hey, I know you're busy. I'll come back some other time and ask if it's allocated out the door. But yeah, not giving up my haunt either, man. I just thought it was interesting that when you were going through, was you going to do it? Nah.
No. I mean, I love the place I go to. I talk to the people there all the time. They know me. They know when I come in. I'll talk to them about bourbon. I'll talk to them about beer. I don't care. I'll sit there and chat for 30 minutes. I'll chat for an hour. As long as they're not busy. I'll bring samples. If they give me I got a great foolproof pick from this place, which I still have. We've got plenty of shows to do once this isolation thing is over, but I got a great foolproof pick from there. And I know the guy who gave it to me didn't get it.
It looked amazing. I'll just take a sip. It's no big deal.
Right. I know he didn't get a bottle of it, so I got him a big, I took 200 milliliters out of a 750 milliliter bottle that I had. And I was like, here, man, this is a great pick. You need to have at least some of it. Take it home. He was able to get one from their distributor, luckily.
Well, mine's been lost in the mail then, I guess. I don't know. I've been checking the box out there. It's weird because I gave you that MGP back when we were building my basement.
That's right.
And then here you are talking about giving some samples to some dude outside of a liquor store.
That's true.
Like Jay and Silent Bob out there, you're just handing out, here's a little stuff that I got. But my buddy Mark, who gave me my MVP back in the day and exposed me to a whole new world of rendezvous rye.
That's true. I actually have 5 samples packed up for you right now. Like, I meant to give them to Abby when she came by, but I completely...
All that crap I just gave you just canceled my Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually do have 5 samples packed up. I legitimately meant to throw them in and completely forgot. Did you ever get the Xbox set up, by the way?
I haven't set it up. I've got it downstairs. We've been doing a lot of meal prep type stuff.
I understand.
So 3 pounds of chicken breasts, right? Boneless skin. Pretty normal amount. They gave her 10. Yeah, like I don't know that I've ever seen 10 pounds of chicken breast. So like I get it. And I know I have a commodity here. So now I'm distributed it out. Like I individually bagged it all. I'm going to distribute it to the family. And there's a lot of stuff that I've, because look at it. Like my brother-in-law, his parents, they can't get out. They shouldn't get out, right? They should not go. So whatever we can do to keep them in their house, and some of that is meal prep, and some of that is giving them the essentials, we're going to do that. Like we've been donating toilet paper, that kind of thing. So yeah, this is one of those things where I packaged up a lot of it, froze it off to give away to people, and then I've made a few easy to throw together, just little things. I like to cook, you know that, but
yep.
Yeah, so we threw down today with a drunken chicken. Oh my God, awesome. It was good.
That's awesome.
Like ridiculous good.
My grill. I'm pretty sure it's dead today, but I'll have to check it tomorrow. I tried to make dinner on it, and it did not succeed. So
grill man, or are you having trouble with the charcoal?
It's a propane, and there were flames coming out, but not very high, and I'm not really sure. I have a spare propane tank, so I'm also going to try that.
Yeah, that's probably it.
We'll see. We'll see what happened. I'll see if I can fix it because I'm gonna need it. We did get a bunch of chicken before all this even went down. We were freezing chicken and keeping it because I don't know. We were trying to eat better, and yeah. So I have a bunch of chicken, luckily, and I'm gonna be making that. My uncle, who you know is 81, he'll be 82 this year. He's been trying to do all kinds of crazy stuff. His wife got sick, who is in her 70s, and they were afraid that it might be COVID-19. It doesn't seem like it is. Luckily, she's already gotten better for the most part after like 2 days. But he was like, oh, she needs a TV back in her room because the doctor wants her to socially isolate. I was like, okay. He's like, I'm going to go to Best Buy. I was like, no, but stay at home. I am bringing you a TV because I just took my bar TV. I was like, here's a TV. We set it outside the house. We set some groceries. I was like, just take this stuff.
Yeah.
Do not go out. What are you doing?
I would say the closest thing to that, grab one of those 55-inch, $170 TCL Roku TVs. Like I've got in my cigar room here. It's awesome.
No, it's great.
Shipped.
I just didn't want him going out to Best Buy.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, get it shipped to the house if you're going to get something extra like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's crazy. I'm hoping. I mean, there will still be. Luckily, there's still bourbon news coming out while we're on here. The TTB is still processing new labels for the year. I would assume that they're all going to get approved, but also we're not going to see them for a while. Oh, there is one we can talk about that's interesting. An 18-year marriage bottle of E.H. Taylor. So it's a bottled in bond, 18-year-old marriage of 3 different recipes. 1 wheated, 1 high rye, and I can't remember what the 3rd recipe is. So it's a marriage of 3 different bourbons so in order to be bottled in bond, they all had to be distilled in the same seasons, in the same state, in the same distillery. For this to be a marriage of 3 different types of bourbon is fascinating. That bottle will never see shelves. I don't think I can get a bottle of that. That may as well be Pappy 23. Like I don't think I'm going to even be able to get a bottle of it. But if I can, we'll open it for the podcast.
All right, I like that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stick with the ones that I can find. I've been lucky a few times when I'm out. You know me, I would never. I don't go on the secondary. I don't do any of that stuff. I feel like it's bad for the market. I like the good old days of just going in and buying whatever was cheapest first of all, and then working my way.
Lee back in the day.
Yeah, but I still find some pretty good ones once in a while. I encourage people when they travel to Utah to use the website We can just say, show me where all the drams are. And they'll say, as of this morning, there were 25 bottles at this location. It's all state run.
That's right, because it's ABC controlled.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have my phone. Let me see if I can pull this up. But yeah, hunting is definitely different now. It's going to be really different after this, just from the economics of everything. You know, people are obviously going to be losing their jobs. I think we're going to definitely see a slump in the market. I don't know what that slump looks like, but the secondary is obviously going to take a hit because people aren't going to be spending that money on bourbon, which they shouldn't be spending thousands of dollars on a bottle of bourbon. I'm just seeing if there's anything else from my news feeds that's interesting enough to talk about tonight. Luxco, who does Rebel Yell, which you have a bottle of the Rebel Yell 10-year single barrel. Those are phenomenal weeders. They're doing a Rebel Yell Distillers Collection and an Ezra Brooks Distillers Collection. We don't know when those are coming out. Those should be neat. The Ezra Brooks is Heaven Hill distillate. They're both Heaven Hill distillate, but the Ezra Brooks is the high rye at 110 proof. Don't know the age. The Rebel Yell is also 110 proof, and it will be their weeded. So those will both be single barrels that are available for, you know, groups like our cigar club to select.
I am so pumped up, man. I'm excited to be doing some picks with the cigar club.
Yeah, we this is delayed, but we are going to do, and we'll take some video and some pictures for the site, but we are going to do an Old Forester barrel proof pick when those come back online. It was originally going to be in May. Now I don't have an answer for when that's going to be. I don't think anybody does. Jackie Zyken, Fred, they're going to both help us do this pick. Fred helped line it up with Neil's help. Both, you know, part of the NCCC. They're going to help us get this pick lined up. It's not going to be the highest priority when we get back, so I'm going to guess we're probably going to push it back to fall, but I don't know. But we will be doing at least a pick.
Fall's a great time to be drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, so summer and spring, winter, obviously. Hey, let's talk about this one, man.
Let's talk about it.
How you feeling?
This is great. This is a great bourbon. You know, I'll do a full write up on this one after I've let it have some oxygen, because that first pour, you never know what you're getting. Oxygen hasn't hit the bottle, but man, even just that first pour is fantastic. This is a classic bourbon. That's how I would describe it.
It's a pretty cool blend, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you took 4 heavyweights and you blended them together into what I think to be a pretty great bourbon. I've done my own blends before and haven't been as successful. You've had some that have been pretty great.
I've had some that have been okay. This is, I mean, obviously they're getting it at the source, but this is a great blend. I don't know, you know, Fred No's son. We met Fred No many times at the Bourbon Society. He just has every yarn to spin. That dude is a classic country boy. But him and his dad Booker both came to the Bourbon Society. But his son Freddie is doing these. The first two are really different. One of them has like a 40-year-old Canadian whiskey in it. They're very different blends than this. This is just a classic. The third one is just a classic blend of Beam profiles, which I think is less nuanced, but is great. I mean, I haven't done the other two. I haven't tried the other two actually. So we're gonna do this. This is gonna be one of the first things we do when we come back and are able to do things together. We're gonna do a blind of all three, and we're gonna pick our favorite. While we're talking about distilleries, let's talk about this guy. I did a review for the site. My buddy with Reddit. This is Take T8KE. He's the main moderator on Reddit. He did this pick for Sealbox.
Our bourbon, right?
Our bourbon. R/R/bourbon. This is from a distillery called Driftless Glen, and I hate that I love this so much because they're out of Wisconsin. Which boo, cheeseheads, as Bears fans. But
as Bears fans, it does make it tough to like that whiskey, man.
It does, but. This is a craft distillery. This is 4 years, 3 months old. Okay. It is fan-fucking-tastic. This is at cast strength. It's 116 proof.
It must have been. You just took us from like PG to PG-13.
Yeah, this is
how good it was.
That's how good it is. This is incredible. There's like pecan pie in here. It's just, this is an incredible whiskey, and I'm absolutely flabbergasted that a bourbon is coming outside of Kentucky. Even though I'm aware that I love MGP, there's bourbons outside of Kentucky. This is so good that it puts Wilderness Trail and New Riff to the test, because, and I would put this against some of the big boys at 4 years. So yeah, buy this. Have this shipped to your house, because everything that Driftless Glen is doing, fantastic. Also, this bottle, Jesus. Do what?
How expensive is that one?
I think this one was like $54.
Okay.
I think this very bottle is still available.
I realize I should know this because I bought it. How expensive is this one? Isn't this like $110 in SRP?
You got it for the original price that Little Book was, which was like $95 or $90.
I remember that.
So it was either 90 or 95. The actual retail on Little Book Chapter 3 is tough to swallow. It's $130. So you got it well below the MSRP.
I wonder how that's even possible.
They mislabeled it as Little Book Chapter 1, which was $90.
Oh, I see. Well, now I feel bad. I didn't want to take my liquor store.
No, you didn't. They labeled it that way. They rang it up that way. I mean, it happens. Pricing mistakes like that happen all the time. At my liquor store, I got the Maker's Mark Ambassador set for, I want to say it was $40. Normally it's $80, but the distributor had put the pricing on, and so they honored it. It happens.
Wow.
You're a good customer. I don't think they're going to be upset that you took them for a little bit, because
had I known MSRP though at that time, I would have told them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well worth the price. Whether it's worth $130 though, that's a tougher sell. But at $90, this is an incredible bottle.
That's pretty steep for me. You know that. Like, I've been steep before for like my daughter's name, Carter. Old Carter. I've done that very few times in my life, my career as a bourbon drinker. It's just not my thing. I'm not chasing the
heavyweights. Yeah. Which I was lucky enough to get a unicorn while in quarantine. I've got my Weller Full Proof back there. Yeah. I'm excited. That one's going to wait. I'm not even going to open that one until I have friends to pop that open with. That one can totally wait. That's an exciting one for us all to try. We'll do a full Weller lineup too.
Yeah, I don't even want to try it. Like, we need to make sure that we get the crew together.
We will. I'm going to get a sample of CYPB, which is Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. That's the white label Weller. But beyond that, we'll do. I've got a single barrel pick of Weller Reserve, a green label to give it its best shot. I've got Weller 12. I've got Weller Antique, Full Proof, and then we'll have CYPB. So we'll do the full lineup when we have a chance. Lots of podcasts scheduled, but also hopefully, because this is going to be extending for longer than anybody wants. I fully expect this to be an 8-week journey, at least. That's my guess. That's nothing beyond that.
I'm not going to share my opinion because it's demoralizing at this point.
Yeah, it's tough.
That we can get this thing under control, get a vaccine out there, or get some type of treatment out there that does some damage. I'm just going to hope for that and hope it's tomorrow.
That's all we can do is hope for change every day. I fully expect this to go on sometime, at least a few weeks. We'll say that. And in that time, we'll try and do a couple more of these because these are fun. They keep it less feeling like social isolation. Yeah. And I'll keep the lovely background of our fireplace. Make sure
you waving that American flag by having the inset fireplace and the air conditioner running at the same time. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. That's my goal.
There's probably steam windows from all the condensation.
Oh man, but this is awesome. By the way, we're using, I think it says it in the top corner. Let me actually go over to our stream. It does. It says StreamYard in our top of our stream.
We should probably just buy a license instead of being cheap asses and get rid of the watermark. But
we should. I don't know how to pay them even yet. I'm still learning the software. We're gonna figure it out. So far, StreamYard's awesome. It lets me do all kinds of neat things where I can set our different zooms. I can do this. I can make myself the big one. I don't know what that button does. Oh, hey, that button does something. I don't even know what that.
I know you can do some pretty creative things with the green screen.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe we could do some distillery tours virtually.
Yeah,
pictures from like Heaven Hills campus, or one of my favorites out there. Get like a Buffalo Trace.
Have you seen the picture? It says Bourbon Trail changed to my house, and it's a picture of a layout of a house, and it has different bourbons set in the different rooms.
Amazing. I haven't seen that.
It's really good. So maybe I'll take us on a virtual tour, because literally in my house there's bourbon scattered everywhere, and one day we'll just do a tour of the house with a bunch of different bourbons scattered everywhere.
I've got the cigar patio, I've got the cigar room here, and then I have the kitchen, which is where I keep the vast majority. Whatever I'm sipping on is usually out at the cigar deck. What I've got on deck is usually in this room, usually right here. And then I usually keep all the things in reach when my friends come out to make sure I can easily get it. But no friends coming out anymore, so is what it is.
And on nice days, hopefully there will be a nice day. We will do a live podcast outside. Thursday's supposed to be nice.
273.
I don't trust anything our weather says because it's the Ohio Valley, but we'll wait and we'll get a nice day and we'll do a live cigar and bourbon podcast outside, because why not, right? What else are we going to do?
I've got some cigars that are going to change the game as far as bourbon pairings go.
Oh, okay.
Really, really great cigars. But I feel like we could probably – we don't have to smoke the same one, because I'm not going to hand you a cigar. Just because
that makes it difficult.
Your house to hand you a cigar,
Yeah. I get it. But I do have some of the J. Shepherd dipped cigars from some time ago. So those
Michter still, the original.
I think I might still have one of those in the humidor. Luckily, you helped me fix my humidor. It's back to proper. I think it's like 60 right now.
About to do that work, man. You know me.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So we've got some podcasts we'll do coming up. We're just going to do these for fun because A, it keeps us sane, and B, hopefully somebody gets some entertainment out of them. We'll keep going over the news. There will be, like I said, there will be more bourbon news. I've got some more lined up. There's more TTB records coming through. Wait, I did find the Russell's Reserve now that I've been scrolling through my notes. It will be 44.75 proof. I was completely wrong on the proof. It is 89.5 proof, so just under 90. But that's crazy. That's a barrel proof, non-chill filtered. It's exciting. So yeah, that's really it from my end. That's our bourbon news right now, our isolation bourbon news. And with that, I'm gonna say cheers and be ready to sign off. Mark, any last words?
No last words. Wash your hands. Distance from other people. Once you're done with that, wash your hands again. Just do what you can. If you have to be out there, be careful. Make sure that you're taking the proper precautions, and stop hoarding toilet paper. That's all I got.
Yep. Please stop hoarding toilet paper. You can order bourbon online. You can have it delivered to your house right now. Do that. Don't go out. And with that, everybody have a great night.
See you guys.
All right. Have a good one, man. Bye.
You too.